Majority of the field now out on the racetrack. Chris East now getting a push in the Les Harrower family-owned 88 car, the J&J, out of Bendigo. Great to see a driver sitting behind the wheel of that particular car. It's been frequented by Danny Smith, of course, over the past couple of seasons. Through comes the Australian champion, Phil March, for Les March Autos. He certainly had an up and down season early on in the year. Did tip the thing over a couple of times, but since they've put the brand new car together, the ex-Steve Kinser Maxim that Ashley Smith, crew chief, managed to acquire from the States, I think Phil certainly knuckled down a little more and really has been thinking about it, of course. Still running very aggressively. As we know, his trademark basically. There certainly must be a little bit of pressure as we get closer, of course, to tomorrow night, say, for the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, if Phil can hang in, qualify for that, but also the Aussie title at his home track. Has been running very strongly at Speedway City this season, has Marchie. He's certainly doing everything in his and Ashley Smith's power to try and retain the big number one atop the wing of the Les March Autos Maxim. 25 lap record here, dates way back to 1990, Stuart, is that correct?
Yes, that's definitely correct, John.
January the 1st, 1990, Max Dumsney the holder of that. Unbelievable. 5:21.41 is the mark here, and what a huge moment for Chad Kamenar out of Ohio to be pacing this field alongside the more fancied, I guess, and more experienced Randy Hannigan in the 1X Icor NetTaxi.com car. Danny Lasowski hovering very dangerously there on position 3. Alongside him, Skip Jackson. It's interesting, isn't it, when you think about the number of Knoxville Track Championships those couple of guys have got between them. Of course, Danny a whole heap more than Skip, but Skip still with 2 under his belt. And folks, we are set to go racing. The Hurricane up very high. He puts the hammer down. We're underway. Beautiful start from Hannigan. Lots of pushing and shoving going on. Everybody trying to get it down tight through 1 and 2. Expect to see a few cars set up rather tight early on and to come on strong in the final 10 or 15. Somebody's hit the wall. They get back into it. Jensen in the 75 car. Brooke Tatnell working the top. Phil March has spun the thing. 2 360s. Can he keep it going? Yes, he can. Unbelievable stuff. Oh, it's brilliant stuff, isn't it? I know I've been looking forward to it for a good week or so ever since we learned of the entry of one Danny Lasowski. The dude, of course, many of us really will be unable, of course, to get across to the States to watch this man in action, but we found out he was coming here to Premier Speedway. What an absolute highlight it was, and word just coming through as well of a flat inside front for Phil March. Yes, flat inside front for the Aussie champ, so that's going to make it pretty tough for him. Darren Jensen coasting onto the infield as well with what appears to be a flat right rear, so they're dropping like 9 pins here. 2 of them out already. A lap yet to be run. Well, here we go. Looks as though the inside front is going to be changed here for Phil March. Ashley Smith down there. Okay, well, 2 minutes has been asked here. Ashley Smith and also Sean Carron down there. Inside front being changed on Phil March and his Les March Autos Maxim. Well, let's pick up the field again. Chad Kamenar in the 14 USA entry for JK Racing. A dream night he's had to this point. Can he carry it on? Lots of very quick and experienced Australians. Pretty keen to try and topple him before it's over. And of course, Pennzoil World of Outlaws star, the Beef Packers entry, Danny Lasowski. Absolutely worth the price of admission alone to watch this man in action. An absolute ace behind the steering wheel. I'm sure Johnny will back up his driving style, quite unique. Really does hunch over the steering wheel, but wrestles the thing like he's trying to tame some sort of wild beast. The man out of St Mary's in New South Wales, Kerry Madsen for the Motor Up team, and the Kraft brothers. Around they come, the calm before the storm. Our clerk, of course, says, let's go racing! Lasowski looking up the inside. The Hurricane sweeps past Chad Kemenar and hits the lead, and just look at him go. This could be a tremendous dogfight between 3 or 4 Americans. Donny Schott still a fair way back, but we'd expect him to come into his own before this is out. How high can Brooks Hatnell run? Well, it's brought about his demise in past years. Has the concrete coming out at 2, and again he's gone very high trying to make it work. A little too high, got up into the marbles. Robbie Farr challenges him. He's now trying to catch Donny Schatz and also Danny Smith by the look of it. But back to the sharp end of this field. The Hurricane is blowing sweetly at the moment as he charges out of turn number 4. Through he comes. It's Maxim from Foster, from another Maxim. Then the Max Jeff chassis being driven by Skip Jackson. Then it's the Grizzly of Kerry Madsen. Field come around now with exactly 5 laps complete, 20 remaining. Kemenar now beginning to catch Lasowski. The tyre choices perhaps going to be absolutely critical in the outcome of this. Kemenar absolutely stalking Randy Hannigan as they storm their way down the back chute. Lasowski around about 10 car lengths back. Kemenar trying to work the top. Randy Hannigan running mid-track here. This time Kemenar darts it down low just to show the Hurricane that he means business. Trevor Green dropping out onto the infield. That's a pity for the Adrad Radiators team. This is brilliant racing. Almost side-by-side stuff. Randy Hannigan and Chad Kemenar. The United States of America drivers running 1, 2 and 3. Brooke Tatnall, he's put a pass on Donny Schatz. He's starting to run the top and it's coming in. Look at him go out of 2. Brooke Tatnall, I think, with the hot ticket for the final stages. 15 to go. They are working the top beautifully. Oh, look at this. Down the back they go. We're picking them up here. Lap car possibly in the way. Here comes Kemenar. Leading the way now. The Hurricane's been dropped back to 3rd. Maybe struggling a little bit. Brooke continues to work a higher groove than anybody else. Very smart driving. The San Souci New South Wales Speedster is about to blow past Skip Jackson. He's staying high. Watch him go. Brooke Tatnall. Oh, this is brilliant stuff. The big set on display from Brooke Tatnall. US experience and also local track knowledge enabling him to run higher than the rest of the pack. Here comes our race leader down the main chute. 11 to go for Chad Kemenar. What a win this will be, although it's only a preliminary feature. It'll keep him atop the points board. Danny Lasowski, not a spent force yet. He will come back with 10 to go. Randy Hannigan trying to hang on in 3rd place. Behind him, Kerry Madsen. Brooke Tatnall continuing to work hard up top. Well, there's some smoke blowing here from the John Sidney Racing Power Plant. Let's hope it's nothing terminal. Look at Brooke Tatnall, he's got another one. Brooke Tatnall on the move. He is working the top like there's no tomorrow. Well, he's about to blow past Randy Hannigan. I was going to say with a Hurricane of his own, he's going to go past at such pace. Here he goes, yes, Brooke Tatnall. He's a man on a mission. Can he get to the front here with 6.5 remaining? Magnificent stuff. Kemenar in 14, the young Ohio driver at 25 years young, showing this class field the way around this 410 metre clayway. Danny Lasowski, the dude, out of Dover, Missouri for L-Track. And Sean Enterprises, he's still hanging in there. But look at Brooke Tatnall. This is amazing. Oh, there's drama here. Somebody's on their side. Phil March and Gary Brazier appears to have been involved. Wow, boy oh boy, what an error, make no mistake about it. Of course, let's find out about Philip March and also Gary Brazier before we analyse the race to this point. But a classic event here, befitting of such an event, although it's only a preliminary feature. This is absolutely magnificent stuff. We'll be crossing down to Stewart as soon as we can. I'm sure he's on the scene, quickly surveying the two cars. I must confess, I didn't see it. Looked over and Phil March was on his side and just tipping back onto his wheels.
Yeah, thanks, John. Both drivers are out of the car, so they're both all right. But yeah, Phil March has lost the front end of his car. Gary Brazier is out of the car. The top wing is damaged on the right-hand side.
Talk about experience, of course. Danny Lasowski, he'll be doing his absolute utmost to take it out from here. Remember, he is driving with a fair amount of pain. He wouldn't want us to be harping on about it. He's here, he's a real racer. Performing with distinction, one of the world's finest. But can Brooks Hatnell do it? That's the big question, race fans. He appeared to have most of the field's measure prior to the restart. And we are into it. And look at Hatnell up the inside. Lasowski's gone wide. Brooks trying to get him on the inside. Down into three they go. It's a drag race. Robbie Farr battling as well. Danny Lasowski's obviously got the word. Run it up high, son. Sean Caron would have said this is amazing stuff. Kemenar hanging on mid-track. Lasowski's up top. Brook now joining him. Three remaining. Out of the second corner they go. Brooks dropped right back. Kerry Madsen now trying to serve it up to him on the inside. He blocks him. Kemenar wide open down the main chute. The John Sydney Racing power plant. Hardly missing a beat since the restart. Some good racing here with Donny Schatz and Skip Jackson and Kerry Madsen, who has snuck past Brooks Hatnell. Well, there's only half a lap remaining here. Brooks nearly kissed the fence. He keeps it off. The flag's going to fall. Chad Kemenar, our hats off to you. Great drive from Danny Lasowski, Kerry Madsen, Brooks Hatnell, Skip Jackson, Donny Schatz, maybe Robbie Farr from Danny Smith. Didn't quite catch the car in behind them. But what a drive, and hasn't he been on fire throughout the evening? Chad Kemenar, the 25-year-old out of Ohio, was highly recommended, and isn't he certainly fulfilling the big shoes and the big expectations that have been placed upon him? Little known driver to Australians perhaps, but he's now really beginning to forge a name for himself. Did it tough in front of his fellow countrymen Danny Lasowski and Brooks Hatnell. He was under siege over the final 4 or 5 laps. But folks, he hung on. Come on, make some noise for him. Chad Kemenar, out of Ohio in the US of A. He's done it brilliantly over 25 laps. Come on through the terraced area. Wave your caps and programs. Give him a big cheer. Come on, grandstand. Don't let us down over there. Show your appreciation to this fine young pilot. Turn 4, your opportunity. Let me see your arms and hands going. Come on. He's about to come down and deposit the checkered flag. Let's hear it for him again. Chad Kemenar. The USA 14 for JK Racing. Well, won't the Night Boys be absolutely ecstatic with this? For Flowcon and the various other sponsors that support that team, this young man has come across here. Admittedly, as we said, not the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, a main final, only a preliminary night, but this young man has shown that he has got a great head on his shoulders, can drive this car very straight, and has adapted to this track so quickly. Obviously it's to his liking. There must be a couple of tracks in the Ohio region with similar banking to this, Johnny, and he really was on the gas. The setup was there, the team have backed him up, and the engine hung in there. A great all-round team effort from Chad Kemenar and the JK Racing team.
"15 lightning fast laps around this 410-meter clay oval. $2,000 going home with the winner. Again, setting the field as the lights go out. Robert Jackson and Chris Aish pace the field down to the chalk stripe where we'll look for the green flag to fly. RPMs increase, green flag waves, we are underway. Down into turns 1 and 2, Jackson on the low side, Chris Aish up high, give the lead to Chris Aish down the back straightaway. Jackson settles into second, but not for long. Brooke Tatnall in the Shell Helix, number 8, takes second, looking for the lead off of turn number 4. It's Aish, Tatnall, Jackson, battle for the 4th spot now between Chad Kemenaugh and Donnie Schatz. Bill Bailey runs in 6th, Skip Jackson back in 7th. We've got a battle for the lead off of turn number 4. Aish on the high side, Tatnall down low, can't make the move happen off of turn number 2. Aish continues to lead it. Tatnall this time the slide job entering turn number 3, up to take the racing groove away. Aish says maybe not, side by side into turn number 1, give the advantage to Brooke Tatnall in the Shell Helix number 8. Tatnall, Aish, Kemenaugh, Schatz, Jackson, battle between Brad Furr and Bill Bailey. Furr on the low side of the speedway takes the 6th spot away. 5 laps in the books, 10 laps remaining for Brooke Tatnall. Danny Lasowski pulling into the infield, as well as Danny Smith in the Castrol number 33. Brad Furr working the low side of the speedway, trying to grab a spot from Bill Bailey. Bailey and Robert Jackson doing side-by-side battle through turns 1 and 2. Furr now to the inside of Jackson. A look for the race into turn number 1. Give the advantage to Brad Furr and the Sanmina number 2F. Kerry Matson, a nice move to the inside of the skilled Pennzoil 71 of Skip Jackson. And a lot of smoke coming out of the number 14 machine of Chad Kemenaugh. Perhaps some tire smoke there, running it down through the slick part of the racetrack as Kerry Matson now looks to take a spot away from Robert Jackson. Your race leader, Brooke Tatnall, about to encounter some lap traffic, will set his sights on the Pennzoil number 71 of Skip Jackson. This time across the start-finish line, 4 laps remaining, 4 laps to go for Brooke Tatnall, and a couple of cars there side by side in front of him. Chris Aish, if he's got any chance at all, needs to make his move now. Look at the race for the 3rd spot, heating up between Donnie Schatz and Chad Kemenaugh. Schatz down on the low side of the speedway, Kemenaugh working the middle. Schatz takes the position going into turn number 3. Brooke Tatnall having things all his way in the Australian American Challenge, uses the high line around the speedway to come off at turn number 4. He'll look at the white flag. One more trip around the Premier Speedway. Into turn number 4, race fans, make some noise. The winner of the Australian American Challenge, Brooke Tatnall. Chris Aish crosses the stripe in 2nd with Donnie Schatz 3rd, Robert Jackson in 4th. Chad Kemenaugh, then Bill Bailey, Brad Furr, and Kerry Matson. Well, I'm sure it doesn't make up for the feature win here in the preliminary A-main event, but Brooke Tatnall pocketing an extra $2,000 for his victory in the Australian American Challenge, brought to you this evening by the Warrnambool Standard. Passing over in front of the terrace now, J.D. Kramer's Australian American Sprint Car Tour over there in the terrace, giving a victory wave to Brooke Tatnall in the Shell Helix number 8. And some 360s from Brooke Tatnall with the checkered flag in hand. And another one right in front of the terrace. How about it for Brooke Tatnall?
It was pretty nice. It's a lot easier starting up front than starting further back. But no, the feature race, we put a harder tyre on and it took us about 3 or 4 laps to get going. But by that stage, we dropped back to about 9th. So we got going, we ended up 4th. That thing there, though, we really didn't change anything on the car. We just left it the same. So bolted another 2 tyres on it and just ground them away. But I think the crowd's seen some good racing tonight. It's been pretty enjoyable. You could stick it up against the fence and Kerry proved you could run the bottom, so no, it's definitely nice.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's a long way away. Hopefully I'm standing near this happy about this time tomorrow night, but it's a long way to go. This is the classic. Anything can happen. I've seen guys come from further back and win this thing, and guys have up front have a lot of bad luck, but no, we'll just play it as it comes. I've learned this classic, you just play it as another race, and sometimes it falls your way, sometimes against, so hopefully it's falling our way this time.
Congratulations. All the best for tomorrow night.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks a lot.